Welcome into the End of the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com for the Sunday card, April 24th. Tom Leach, along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's Director of Mutuals and Simulcasting, as we take a look at Sunday's Late Pick 4, which features 3 maiden races wrapped around the 7th race, which is the feature on the card. It's a 1.5-mile turf test. You've got, I think a couple of these horses at least were nominees to the Dixiana Elkhorn on Saturday. I know Shug's horse, Bokeelia Island, was. Who did you like?
I like 3 horses in here, and Bokeelia Island was one of them. It's kind of these horses have never won a race other than maiden, claiming, or starter, or have never run 2 races. In a race like this, I like to see horses that have multiple wins, because you got, a horse has won 1 time versus a horse has won 3 times. Normally, there's a big advantage. In this particular race, all 3 horses I like only have 1 win. I can't go to a horse, for example, that's the 2-horse Uncle Mitcho is 2 for 36. So I don't think that one counts as having multiple wins. Bokeelia Island for Shug, not much speed there, but ran here on opening weekend at 1.8 miles, stretching out to 1.5 miles, and was closing at the end. Only got beat by a length and a quarter to Animal Instinct, and I think that Castellano takes him back. I think Bokeelia Island is probably the favorite here. Circus Performer for Todd Pletcher and Giroux only has 3 races and comes out of that same race and got beat by 2.5 lengths by Bokeelia Island, but has a lot of room to improve, and only in his 4th lifetime start. The other horse that I liked was Kieran McLaughlin's horse, Good Response, for Joe Bravo. And the horse comes out of a race at Belmont last October, long layoff, but that horse ran behind Fire Away and Request, 2 horses that came back and won right away. So that becomes a key race. If Kieran's got this horse ready, I think he competes as well. So my top 3 choices that I would use in the pick 4, I would take probably Circus Performer or Bokeelia Island. I think Circus Performer has a little more upside, and use them in the pick 4 with Good Response. I would use Circus Performer, maybe key Good Response with those 2 in the 2nd spot, and try to catch a price in the 3rd for a trifecta.
I ended up going to Circus Performer. I like the 2nd off the layoff angle. Horse was a little wide last time, and I think it's probably that one or Bokeelia Island for me. But for a win pick, I took Circus Performer, who I would then key in exactas with Bokeelia Island, John's Kitten the 5, and Good Response the 7. So those are the ones you mentioned there. The late pick 4 starts in the 6th race, and the race we just talked about, it's that one and 3 maiden races. And in the first leg, I like Conquest Superstar from the Cassie Barn. I like the shortening up angle from 2 turns to 1. Thought caught a tough field last time. But Vilma, Keen Sense, Power Driven are others I want on the ticket. Then I'm going to take Circus Performer, Bokeelia Island, and John's Kitten in the 7th race. Leave out Good Response to save a little money on the ticket. I want to go 4 deep in the 8th race. Stylish Qualities, the win pick. But I like Etiquette, I like Delay of Game, I like Cool Cat Jazz. And then in the 9th, another Cassie Horse Conquest, Saber Cat. Really made a big improvement in his 2016 debut, so I'm going to use that one, and Kismet's Heels for Pletcher. So just 2 in the last leg, 4 by 3 by 4 by 2. How about you?
In the 6th race, I couldn't find here, this is a race of 7 furlongs and a lot of horses shortening up, a couple first-time starters. I could not find anybody to get the lead. So I'm assuming that one of these first-time starters, either Nessie from the inside or Abstract Cape with Le Peru, if they look at the race, I mean, those jockeys have got to send their horses. They're an unknown quantity. The field didn't come up that tough, so I'm going to spread here with those 2 horses, those 2 first-time starters, plus the 3 horses I like better. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 with Nessie, Keen Sense, Conquest Street War, the horse that you mentioned, Abstract Cape, the 6, and Power Driven, the 7. But I'm thinking that somebody may steal this race. I just don't know who it's going to be. 7th race, I would go 3 deep that we talked about, Bokeelia Island, the 3, Circus Performer, the 4, and Good Response, the 7, so 5 by 3. My single comes in the 8th race, and I think Stylish Quality, if she runs back to her first race at Belmont, she had an 84 buyer, only got beat ahead, then she comes back at Gulfstream in March and probably needed a race, was bumped at the start, and just kind of gave it up in the stretch. But the horse that beat her that day, Apology Not Accepted, was very impressive, won by 16 lengths. So I think you toss that race and you base it on her 84 buyer, and I think she's a nice single in the 8th race. and then go deep as you can in the last race. I have 2, 4, 7, 8, 11, with the top choice being Kismet's Heels, the 7, Archangel Rose, the 2, Conquest Sabercat, the Cassie horse you mentioned, the 4, and then the 8, 11, Acadi Wildcat for Paco Lopez, who won wire to wire on the feature in the last race on Friday. And Gio's Calling for Brian Lynch has a couple of good races over the turf at Aqueduct last November. So I would go 5 by 3 by single by 5, which is $37.50 for the late pick 4.
This is the last Sunday of the Keeneland Spring Meet, and after this card, just 3 racing days left. So make sure if you can't get to the track, you're fully funded in your Keeneland Select account. Best of luck with your Sunday wagers, and we'll be back to check out the races on the Wednesday card for the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.